I just loved coming. It was so wonderful. Let's see, my takeaway was uh, I learned so much. I learned that I need to take care of myself and speak up for myself and not take what other people say internally. I take things personally a lot.
Mhm.
And I've learned, even just since the retreat, to just
During the
say, huh?
during the retreat, texting your husband was
Yeah,
very different than what you would normally have done.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And he still doesn't understand why I wanted to go.
Mhm.
And I keep trying to explain to him, but I don't think he gets it. He thinks it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But I said, and um, with the cost, he said he kind of went like that. But I said, well, I'm worth it. And he says, yeah, you are. So I'm hoping to show him why it was important for me to go. But and when he said something that I could take personally, I just say, yeah, you're right. I agree with them, and just,
Yeah.
so and I need to let's see, love myself more and know that people, there's nobody that can love me more than I can love myself.
Yes.
And I need to enjoy this journey. And I've committed to have this be a lifelong way of thinking, because I'm so much happier now than I ever have been.
Yes.
So,
I have all these gems. I'm just writing them all down. There is no one who's going to love you more than yourself. That's so true.
and that my desires matter,
Mm.
and that I have this bag of tools now. And I have to admit that I was having to do the model internally with one person that came to that retreat, and I was having a hard time with that. But I was facing what I was thinking and just working on it.
Yeah. And that was also my experience because when you have a group of women, everyone has their differences. And
Yeah.
I did set very strong guidelines and I felt like I did a pretty good job of reinforcing them. But I also realized the benefit of you as a participant using your own tools to embrace that person, because that is like a real life example, right? We go to church. There's people
That's right.
trigger us. Right? We're in our guild. There's women in our guild that trigger us. It's like we can't escape those things. And so the more you can embrace them and like really own it.
Yeah, that was really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it was a pain in the rear sometimes, it was a good thing for me to have to do, because it's true. There are people that I avoid. And so I have to use the tools to just accept them for who they are and have them not impact me.
Right. One of the things that I observed about you was the connections you made with different women were profound.
I was surprised about that too. I love every one of those ladies, especially Carol. Carol and I bonded so much. And it was because of her service to me.
Yes.
She just is the sweetest person in the whole world. And I hope she can realize that.
Yeah.
That her worth is so great. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really fun to watch different relationships blooming.
Yes.
It was
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved our cabin. We had a great group in our cabin. Yeah. And Susan, I love Susan. She's, we have that sisterhood on top of the group. So, yeah.
So it was a lot of money and it was a lot of effort to get here.
Uh-huh.
And traveling in general is always tricky.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
flights
know.
can get canceled and all of that. But was it worth it?
It was definitely worth it. The minute I heard about the retreat, I just had this feeling, this deep desire to come.
Mhm.
And I knew I could afford it. There was no question about that. It's just, earmarking that money to go towards me for once.
Yes, yes. I love it.
And yeah, but it's well worth it. I got so much out of it.
Yeah. Okay, so people who are sitting on the fence, they're looking at the money, they're looking at, travel, leaving their home. This pretty safe and secure in our homes, right?
Yes.
So having
Yeah.
to travel to a different country even for you to come to Canada.
Uh-huh.
It was your first time in Canada. How excited is that?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
Just do it. If you have any kind of desire or means to do it, just make the sacrifice, because it's life-changing. It really is. It's heart-changing. It changes your heart. And I was able to sleep that one night, and I slept really well at the retreat. And my husband says, when I told him, he says, and since I've been home, I've been waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning again.
Oh,
And he said, well, why can you sleep at the retreat and not here? I said, well, it's because I'm in menopause and I don't have as much estrogen. And I was around a lot of estrogen and it was wonderful. And he says, yeah, well, that must mean I have lots of good testosterone.
but I also want to add, not only were you around women with estrogen, but your body was a lot more secure.
Yeah.
Where like our body releases estrogen, right?
Uh-huh.
And so the more balanced our hormones, the more our body will create the estrogen that we need. And so when you are in a healthier state, like so some of the women in the group, they were having more regular bowel movements than they normally have.
Uh-huh.
Because your system is feeling so much more regulated,
Yeah.
because your nervous system is more calm, you feel assured, you're learning how to create these new tools. All of that is coming up. So it's not just because you're around the ladies, it's because your body was actually working like in its optimum form.
Yeah. Well, and I was pleasantly surprised when I weighed this morning. I was down 5 pounds.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. I'm fractions of an ounce away from being under 200 now.
That's so fun.
It is. It was great. I used up lots of good.
Yeah.
Good.
I am a pretty good cook.
Yes, it was delicious. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yeah. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Robin.
Well, thank you.
So fun to have you.
Thanks.